Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. I'm Kerry. Today I'll be showing you how to crochet a dump truck, which was a request I received. When crocheted using 8-ply yarn and a 3mm hook, this large one, the size is 18 centimeters wide by 10 centimeters or 7 inches wide by 4 inches. This medium dump truck, crocheted using 4-ply crochet cotton and a 1.5mm hook, is 12.5 centimeters wide by 7 centimeters or 5 inches wide by 2 3/4 inches. These small dump trucks, crocheted using 2-ply crochet cotton and a 1mm hook, are 9.5 centimeters wide by 6 centimeters or 3 3/4 inches wide by 2.5 inches. I'll be using Catona cotton, so the size will be slightly smaller than this large one. I'll tell you the size at the end of the video. I'll be using Catona cotton. I've got 208 yellow gold, 201 electric blue, 110 black and 074 mercury. I've got a 2.5mm crochet hook, scissors, a darning needle to weave in the ends, and sewing thread and a needle to stitch it together. Now I'll be starting on the wheels. Both of the wheels will work the same, so I'll only work one on camera. I'll be using yellow and black for the first part of the wheels, so I've got them both ready, and then we add the blue later. I've got my 208, the yellow gold, and we start with a magic loop. There's lots of ways to make a magic loop, so make it how you feel most comfortable. I put my hook on the yarn, bring the short end over the hook, and then the long end over the short end to make a circle, then yarn around the hook and bring my hook with this yarn at the end through the circle. And then I work one chain. And we'll be working 6 single crochet into our circle. A single crochet is a double crochet using UK terms. For a single crochet, put your hook in through the circle, bring up a loop, yarn around the hook and take the hook with this yarn at the end through both loops. We need 5 more single crochet into our circle. That's the 6 single crochet, and we pull our circle tight, so we take hold of this tail and just ease the circle in, and we're going to join with a slip stitch in the top of the first stitch, but I'm going to attach my black now, so I put my hook into the first stitch and then bring up a loop of the 110, the black. Just take it through the stitch and straight through the loop on the hook, and then pull it all tight. Now we're going to leave this yellow here because we'll work it with it on row 3. Now work one chain. We work 2 single crochet in the same stitch as our join. And then 2 single crochet in each of the remaining 5 stitches around. We'll have 12 stitches. and then join with a slip stitch in the top of the first stitch, but I put my hook through and then bring through a loop of the yellow gold to be ready to work row 3. And that's the first 2 rows done. For row 3 we start with 2 chain. We will be working half double crochets around this row. A half double crochet is a half treble using UK terms. For a half double crochet, put the yarn around the hook, hook into the stitch and bring up a loop, yarn around the hook and take the hook with the yarn at the end through the 3 loops. Then work 1 half double crochet into the next stitch and 2 half double crochet into the following stitch. Then work 1 half double crochet into the next stitch and 2 half double crochet into the following stitch. And we'll repeat that around 1 half double crochet into the next stitch and 2 half double crochet into the following stitch. And just repeat like that, 1 into the next and 2 into the following stitch until you get to the end of the row. And then join in the top of the first stitch, but I'm going to join in my black. And I'll fasten off the yellow gold. For row 4 we start with 1 chain, we work 1 single crochet in the same stitch as the join, 1 single crochet into the next stitch and 2 single crochet into the following stitch, 1 single crochet into the next stitch and 2 single crochet into the following stitch. And we'll repeat that round, 1 single crochet into the next stitch and 2 single crochet into the following stitch. And just repeat 1 into the first stitch and 2 into the following stitch right around the wheel. And then join with a slip stitch in the top of the first stitch. And we fasten that off. And that's the first wheel done. I'll weave in these ends and I'll be back and we'll work this blue part. Now there's the wheel. Now I must admit I'm not good at parts of cars. I'm calling this the Mudguard because that's what it was on my bike, but I'm not particularly sure. So please forgive me if I'm calling things the wrong name. Now we can join our 201, the electric blue, to any stitch. And we work one chain and 2 single crochet in the same stitch as our join. And then work 2 single crochet into each of the next 6 stitches. Work one chain and slip stitch in the same stitch as the last single crochet and fasten off. And I'll work another wheel the same. Now for this dump bed, that's what I'm calling it, I'll also be working 2 colours at once, the yellow gold and the electric blue. I start with my yellow gold and we start with 6 chain. We miss 2 chain and work 1 half double crochet into each of the last 4 chain. Now we join in the 201, the electric blue. So put a loop on your hook and just bring it through and pull the yellow gold tight and work 2 chain and turn your work. Now we're going to be working over the yarn that we're not using, so we'll be working over our yellow gold. We work 1 half double crochet into each of the 4 stitches. And then bring up your yellow gold and work 2 chain and turn your work. For both 3, we'll be using the yellow gold and we'll work over the electric blue to take it to the other side. We work 2 half double crochet into the first stitch. And 1 half double crochet in each of the 3 remaining stitches. And then we work our chain, 2 chain, with the electric blue. We turn our work and we work 1 half double crochet into each of the 5 stitches, working over the yellow gold. For row 5, we work our chain with the yellow gold and turn, and we work over the electric blue. We work 2 half double crochet into the first stitch, and 1 half double crochet into each remaining stitch. And then work 2 chain with your electric blue and turn, and we're working over the yellow gold, and we'll be working 1 half double crochet in each of the 6 stitches. Now for row 7, we start with our yellow gold working 2 chain and turn. We work over our electric blue. We work 2 half double crochet into the first stitch, and then 1 half double crochet into each stitch to the end. I think there'll be 5 stitches. For row 8, using the electric blue, we start with 2 chain and turn, and we work 1 half double crochet in each of the 7 stitches, working over the yellow gold. For row 9, we work 2 chain with the yellow gold and turn, and we will be working over the electric blue. We work 2 half double crochet into the first stitch, and 1 half double crochet into each of the 6 remaining stitches. For row 10, using our royal blue, our electric blue, we start with 2 chain and turn, and working over the yellow, we work 1 half double crochet into each of the 8 stitches. For row 11, we start with 2 chain with the yellow golden turn, and we can fasten off the electric blue now. We work 1 half double crochet into each of the first 2 stitches. Now we're going to work 1 double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. A double crochet is a treble using UK terms. For a double crochet, put the yarn around the hook, hook into the stitch and bring up a loop, yarn around the hook. Take the hook with the yarn at the end through 2 loops, yarn around the hook, hook with the yarn at the end through 2 loops. We need 1 double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches as well. There are 3 stitches left. We're going to work 1 treble into each of the last 3 stitches. A treble is a double treble using UK terms. For a treble, put the yarn around the hook twice, hook into the stitch and bring up a loop, yarn around the hook. Take the hook with the yarn at the end through 2 loops, yarn around the hook, hook through 2 loops, yarn around the hook, hook through 2 loops. So 1 more treble into each of the last 2 stitches. And that's the dump bed done, unneatened. We work 1 chain for the neatening row, and we're going to work 1 single crochet in each stitch down the top. So just find a place not too far from the edge to put your hook and work 1 single crochet in each stitch down the top. And work a single crochet into the corner stitch. Now we've got this little tiny bit that sticks out a bit. We work 3 chain, we miss the first chain and work 1 single crochet into each of the remaining 2 chain. Then I slip stitch into the bottom in that same stitch as the last single crochet. Bring a loop out a little bit and put it through the last loop of the last single crochet, and then just slip stitch through that, and then work 1 single crochet in each stitch along the back part. For the corner stitches, we work 1 single crochet 1 chain and 1 single crochet, and then work 1 single crochet in each stitch along the bottom. Into the corner we work 1 single crochet, 1 chain and 1 single crochet, and then 1 single crochet in each stitch up the side. And join with a slip stitch in the top of the first stitch. And then work 8 chain. We're working this little part now. We miss the first chain and work 1 single crochet into each of the next 4 chain. One half double crochet in each remaining chain. One half double crochet in each of the first 2 stitches along the top, and 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and then fasten off. And when I weave in the ends, I just weave these trebles together a little bit. So that's the dump bed done. Now for this black part under here, I'm calling it the axle. I've got my 110, the black, and we start with 27 chain. For row 1, we miss the first chain and work 1 single crochet in each remaining chain. We'll have 26 stitches. For row 2, we start with 1 chain and turn and work 1 single crochet in each of the 26 stitches. For row 3, we turn our work and we slip stitch into each of the first 2 stitches. It's a bit fiddly. Then work 2 chain. We're going to work a join double crochet over the same stitch as our last slip stitch and the next stitch. So put the yarn around the hook, hook into the same stitch as the last slip stitch and bring up a loop, yarn around the hook, take the hook with this yarn at the end through 2 loops, yarn around the hook, hook into the next stitch and bring up a loop, yarn around the hook, take the hook with the yarn at the end through 2 loops. There are 3 loops on the hook. Put the yarn around the hook and take the hook with the yarn at the end through all the loops. Then we work 1 double crochet into each of the next 4 stitches. Then 1 half double crochet into each of the following 4 stitches. One single crochet into each of the next 4 stitches. And 2 single crochet into the following stitch. We'll leave the rest of these stitches. For row 4, we start with 1 chain and turn. We work 1 single crochet into each of the first 5 stitches. One half double crochet into each of the next 4 stitches. And then 1 double crochet into each of the following 4 stitches. And a join double crochet over the last 2 stitches, the same as we did at the beginning of the last row. Now we're going to just neaten just down to our chain, so just down here, across there and down. So start with one chain and work one slip stitch in each stitch down till we get to the chain. Just at the end there, I'm going to work one chain and then a slip stitch into the same stitch just to square it off a bit. That just gives it a corner at the end there. And then we fasten off. And that's the axle done. Now we're going to work this yellow part at the front of the truck. I've got my 208, the yellow gold, and we join just in the last chain at the end here. And work 8 chain. For row 1, we miss the first chain and work 1 single crochet in each remaining chain. There'll be 7. Now we're going to join to the black. So we slip stitch just near the top of the first row of the black and then at the top of the second row. And we turn our work. For row 2, we work 1 single crochet in each of the 7 stitches. For row 3, we start with 1 chain and turn. We work 1 single crochet in each of the 7 stitches. And then 1 single crochet in each of the first 8 stitches of the black. Now there's 2 stitches left. We work a joined single crochet over these last 2 stitches. So put your hook into the next stitch and bring up a loop, and hook into the last stitch and bring up a loop. There's 3 loops on the hook. Put the yarn around the hook. Take the hook with the yarn at the end through all the loops. Then work a slip stitch in the top of the next row up the side of the black and a slip stitch in the top of the black, and we turn and work one single crochet in each stitch to the end of the yellow. Now we're going to fasten that off, but we're going to leave a tail to weave it down to the end, and we'll be neatening up the side and along the top just a little bit. So just leave a bit of a tail there. And that's the axle part worked. I'll weave in the ends, and I'll just weave this one down to the bottom, and then I'll be back with the electric blue and we'll work the cab. Now for the cab, we join our 201, the electric blue, to the second stitch along the front, from the front, so just in there. Start with one chain, work one single crochet in the same stitch as the join, and then one single crochet into each of the next 13 stitches. And to join single crochet over the next 2 stitches. For row 2, we start with one chain and turn. We work a joined single crochet over the first 2 stitches, and then one single crochet into each stitch to the end. There should be 13 more stitches. For row 3, we start with one chain and turn and work one single crochet in each of the 14 stitches. For row 4, we start with 2 chain and turn. We work a joined half double crochet over the first 2 stitches, so put the yarn around the hook, hook into the first stitch and bring up a loop, yarn around the hook, hook into the next stitch and bring up a loop. There's lots of loops on the hook. Put the yarn around the hook, take the hook with the yarn at the end through all the loops. Then work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 5 stitches. And 1 single crochet in each stitch to the end. And then fasten that one off. I'll weave in that end and I'll be back with the Mercury to do the window. Now for the window, I've got my 07 for the Mercury, and we join to the 3rd stitch from the front. So in here, we start with 1 chain. We work a joined single crochet over the same stitch as the join and the next stitch, and then work 1 single crochet into each of the next 7 stitches. There should be 2 stitches left at the back, we leave them. For row 6, we start with 1 chain and turn. We work 1 single crochet in each of the first 6 stitches. And a joined single crochet over the last 2 stitches. For row 7, we start with 1 chain and turn. We work a joined single crochet over the first 2 stitches and 1 single crochet into each of the next 5 stitches. For row 8, we start with 1 chain and turn. We work 1 single crochet into each of the first 4 stitches and a joined single crochet over the last 2 stitches. And we fasten that off. Now we'll just neaten this little part up here. So bring up a loop of your yellow gold and work 1 chain and work 1 single crochet in each stitch up the side. And then 1 slip stitch in each stitch just along to the blue and fasten off. And that's the front part done. I'll just weave in the ends and I'll be back and we'll work the little back part and we'll stitch them together and then we'll do an evening row around the cab. Now for the side of the cab, we join our 201, the electric blue, in the same stitch as the last stitch at the back of the window. And start with one chain. We work one single crochet in the same stitch as our join, and then a joined single crochet over the next 2 stitches. For row 2, we start with one chain and turn and work one single crochet in each of the 2 stitches. For row 3, we start with one chain and turn and work one single crochet in each of the 2 stitches. And for row 4, we start with one chain and turn and work one single crochet in each of the 2 stitches. And then we fasten off, leaving a long tail to stitch those 2 bits together. And I normally have enough to just embroider on that marking a bit later on. Now I'll weave in this end and I'll stitch those 2 bits together. I'll put the right sides together and just stitch down there, and I'll leave the tail down at the bottom of the window. Now for the neatening row of the blue section of the cab, we join just in the bottom of the blue, that corner there between the yellow and the blue. And work one single crochet in each stitch up the side. Into the corner, work one single crochet, one chain and one single crochet, and then one single crochet in each stitch along to the grey. I just slip stitch in that corner there at the beginning of the grey, and then work one single crochet in each stitch up the slope. Into the corner here, work one single crochet, one chain and one single crochet, and then one single crochet in each stitch along the top. And I just work one slip stitch in each stitch down the back. I work a chain quite tightly and then just work a slip stitch in each stitch down the back. And fasten off. Now that's all the pieces. I'll just weave in the ends and I'll be back and we'll put it together. There's the pieces. I've got the truck part, the dump bed and 2 wheels. The first things I'll do is just embroider the marking just down there, and I'll attach the dump bed. There's a little gap between the cab and the dump bed, just a few millimeters, so I'll stitch that on there. I stitch it, put it down along there and just use a whip stitch to stitch it on. The last thing we do is attach the wheels. One goes in about there and the other near the back, just in there. So I'll attach them and I'll be back to show you the finished dump truck. There's the finished dump truck. The size is 15.5 centimetres wide by 9 centimetres, or 6 inches wide by 3.5 inches. If you've liked my video, please like, subscribe and share. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest and Patreon. The details are in the description below, along with the details of my website where I have my patterns and the details of my Facebook group. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.